are no technical difficulties that can stop the train of Husky Huddle. They may try to throw everything at us, but we overcome all obstacles. Unlike the UCONN men's basketball team, we overcome all obstacles. There's nothing that can be thrown our way that we cannot stop because we are the smartest men in the room. I just wanted to make that clear.
Sounds good to me.
So you had a tournament on Saturday. How was your tournament Saturday?
Our 15U made it to the Final Four out of 30
right.
out of 35 teams, which is pretty good. Our 18U, I don't know where they fit. We lost pretty early in the playoff round, but there's a lot of studs in there. It's just we haven't yet come together, I think, yet. But yeah, it was good. It was long. That's the only way I could put it. Long.
No, I can imagine. It's a long day. I actually talked with Kevin Freeman the other day.
Oh,
out of the blue.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's great. He's always fun to talk to. Because it's just we are missing on so many kids because we have resources, guys coaching all over the country, high school, college, whatnot, and they're just getting ignored. And you have people that can influence them to get them to your program to make it better, and you're not taking advantage of that. Like if I recruited New Jersey from UConn, I'd be on the phone with you every week. Every week. Like, who looks good? Who
from other teams, not just mine, other teams. I see a million teams.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, who looks good? Who looks good in your area? Who should we go after? And none of that happens. Nope. And it's so frustrating to me because other schools have alumni bases that rely on that use their alumni base to scour the United States and find top recruits. Whereas us, we do nothing. And it's like we have all the answers. Like we think we know it all. And we don't need anyone else's help to get anyone to come to UConn. And that's just not the case, especially now with everything we're facing, being an independent, not having as much NIL money. Now is the time where you need those resources. Now is the time where you need that help. Now is the time where you need those people that have connections with coaches, with players to help get your foot in the door, to help get those kids to your school. And we're not doing it. And I understand it was Lyndon Johnson who made the point that you kind of have to go into the transfer portal because you're replacing a 22-year-old kid with an 18-year-old freshman, and you don't have time. You have maybe 2 years to get something done. Yep. So that's why they're going into the portal more and more. And Randy went into the portal like right when he started. Like we brought transfers in after his first year. So that's just what's frustrating to me is when you say you have 6'2" receivers, you have kids who should be getting looks by at least schools from our level, and we're passing it on. And it's like we're not good enough to pass it on. We're not good enough.
Well, I think UConn definitely feels like they are good enough.
They do.
They were 9-4, so
an inflated 9-4.
Yes. So let's look at the schedule. Maryland got murdered 50-7.
Yes.
Merrimack. Merrimack
shouldn't even count.
Merrimack would get beaten by Montclair State. Okay.
Merrimack was a glorified scrimmage.
Duke, we played great. I thought pretty well. We lost 26-21. Right. Florida Atlantic got off.
We dominated them.
They're god awful. Buffalo is god awful.
And surprisingly, Buffalo was the only team on the schedule that ended with a winning record. Go
They're
figure
god
that
awful.
one.
They're god
Yeah,
awful.
yeah.
Temple
Temple was
probably will
brutal.
improve under Casey Keeler, I think.
Yeah.
So now he just took over. So
Okay.
yeah, he going for it. He was the guy that was at. He was originally Rowan, Delaware, then Southwest Houston,
wow.
or whatever it is, Houston's Sam Houston. I think he was at.
Yeah,
So
Sam Houston State. Yep.
they'll improve. They were god awful. We beat them 29-20 on. Temple was
On
going
the
in to
goal
win.
line
They
stand.
blew it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they. So and Temple was god awful, but they will be better.
Yes.
They will be. Wake Forest, close game. We played well there. Rice, I think, is god awful. Georgia State just god awful. We barely beat them.
That was a brutal game. I was at that game.
UAB's god awful. Syracuse, I thought we played well there.
We did. We had a chance at Syracuse.
UMass was a close game. They're god awful.
Yeah.
And North Carolina was depleted.
North Carolina didn't care.
Yeah. So I would say games we won that were good wins. Maybe you could say Buffalo was a good win.
They're the only team with the winning record.
Buffalo was a good win. Rice wasn't good, were they?
We only beat
that's
one.
The only really good win. I think we played well in 3 of the losses: Wake Forest, Duke,
and Syracuse. Yeah.
North Carolina normally would be a great win, and I'm sure we celebrate it. But the truth was, they were really
they were checked out. They were checked out.
So on paper, 2 great wins, 3 losses that we played tough in, teams that were better than us, and that's kind of where we are.
Yeah, so, and that's
now 9-4. Is that good? Absolutely, that's good for 100%. Us. No doubt about it. But let's look at when we were really good. Okay, let's take a quick gander. Let's go way back in time. What do we got to go back to?
We got to go way back in time. You gotta go through probably 03 to 09 maybe, were the heydays, and then 2010 was the Fiesta Bowl. Those were probably the best range of years.
2010 we were 8-5. Tell me which is a better team. All right, so we got smoked by Michigan 30-10. This is 2010. We were 8-5. We smoked Texas Southern. That's probably not a good win.
There was the FCS.
We lost to Temple, who was very good at the time.
That's right.
That was probably a bad loss. That we should have lost that.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
We smoked a shitty Buffalo. We smoked Vanderbilt. That's a good win.
Yep.
We lost to a good Rutgers team. Okay, so that's
lost to Rutgers.
Yep, we got smoked by Louisville. That may have been Lamar Jackson. We beat West Virginia. That's a good win in overtime.
That was the first time that we had beaten West Virginia.
We beat Pittsburgh. That's a good win.
That was a good win. Yep.
We beat Syracuse. That's a good win.
Very good win.
We beat Cincinnati. That's a good win. We beat USF. That's a good win. And then we got smoked by Oklahoma. So in that 8-5 season, you could say like 6 of the wins were good wins. We were up or down in some of the losses. Some were good, some weren't. But that was like a regular schedule. So let me look at 2009. The 8-5 of 2010 is a better
bowl. Yeah,
is better than the 9-4 team.
Much better. Yeah.
Let's see. 2009, we were 8-5 also.
Yes, it was the International Bowl.
Beat Ohio. They're probably nothing great. We lost to North Carolina. We beat Baylor.
Yes, that was huge. Baylor had RG3.
We beat Rhode Island, who sucks. They're
FCS.
We lost to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we always struggled with Pitt.
We beat Louisville. That's a good win.
Big win.
Lost to West Virginia. Lost to Rutgers. Lost to Cincinnati.
Rutgers, wow. Rutgers had our number.
Yep. Beat Notre Dame.
That
double
was a big
overtime.
win. Yes.
Huge win. Beat the piss out of Syracuse that year.
Yes.
Beat USF. Beat South Carolina in the bowl game. So
Yes. Steve Spurrier.
we were kind of shitty early on, but came on strong.
Oh,
So
okay. So
yeah.
I'm getting the years mixed up. I got what you're saying.
Let me look at 2008, 8-5 also. Randy never quite got over the hump, but he had some.
No, that's what people were getting frustrated with. It's like these are the expectations. We're going to be a 7-8 win program. We're never going to be like a 10-win program.
Right.
And that's when people started to get frustrated. And it's like, well, the grass isn't always greener.
Right.
And he was surly with the media.
I'm sure he was. Hofstra in 2008, we beat them, killed them.
We didn't play Hofstra.
We did.
Hofstra has a football program?
2008, we played Hofstra.
Oh, my God. Wow.
I
didn't know they brought it back.
No, 2008, we beat Hofstra, I'm saying.
Yeah, I thought Hofstra ended their program in 99. I didn't know they were.
No, it was in the 2000s.
Oh, okay.
Temple, we beat Virginia. We beat Baylor, 2008. Yep. We beat Louisville. We lost to North Carolina. They smoked us. We lost to Rutgers. Wow, Rutgers really did have our number.
Rutgers had our number, man. Wow. Greg Schiano kicked the shit out of us.
Yeah, Cincinnati, we beat. We lost to West Virginia. We beat Syracuse. We lost to USF. We lost to Pittsburgh. We beat Buffalo. Pretty good team.
USF was good at the time too.
Yeah, they were. So I mean, but you could see, like, look, I know this was the next step. Hopefully we can capitalize on last year 9-4, but we will, because you know why? Our schedule next year. This is our schedule.
Their schedule.
I'm just saying this, unless we fuck up. Central Connecticut, that's a joke. We'll kill them. Syracuse will smoke us.
I don't think Syracuse will smoke us. Dude, they don't have a quarterback. They don't have a quarterback.
Well, who'd they bring in? They're bringing in somebody, I'm sure.
No, you're right. They probably are bringing in somebody.
Delaware, we should beat. That's 2-1. Ball State, they're horrible. We should beat them. Buffalo, we should beat them. That's 4-1. FIU, we should beat them. That's 5-1. Boston College, I guess that's a toss-up. Rice is terrible. That should be at worst. We should be at that point at 6-2. UAB's terrible, 7-2. Duke's going to be tough. If we lost that would be 7-3. Air Force, we should be better than them. That should be 8-3.
Air Force had a down year, yeah.
Florida Atlantic, we should be at worst 9-3.
Oh, God.
At worst 9-3, just because of our schedule, dude.
Joe D was right. Unless we get
nobody. So we're gonna go 9-3. So do they have to listen to us? We're gonna out recruit most of the teams we play. No, we're gonna go 9-3 if we lose to Duke, Boston College, and Syracuse. If we beat any of those teams, we're going 10 wins, dude. Our schedule is so light.
That's what Joe D was saying. Joe D said, unless we bring in some quality opponents to play at home, we're never going to draw. And the attendance is going to dwindle. We only had one game this season that was 30,000 or over. Everything else was 25.
All right, let's look at the home games. Central Connecticut State, that's not going to draw.
No.
Ball State, that's not going to draw.
No.
FIU, that's not going to draw. UAB, that's not going to draw. Duke will draw some
Duke is home? Duke is home?
Duke is home.
Okay, good.
That will draw somebody. Air Force, I don't think is going to draw anyone because no one from Air Force is coming here.
No.
So the only game that has a chance to really draw people is Duke.
Are you getting in the car and coming to watch UConn play Duke?
Absolutely not. I'm not getting in the car. I might get in the car if I had a week, like, let me see.
A weekend.
No, yeah. Well, maybe because it's November 8th or November 15th, we might be done by then.
Right, right.
Well, I might drive just for the sake, but would I drive there just because it's Duke? No, I would drive there because I'm an alumni and I'm done with my sport. What game would I go to that I'm going to potentially squeeze
It,
my personal
it's
schedule
just a
because
waste of money and time.
I have to be there? None.
There isn't one. There isn't one.
But I would enjoy if my schedule was free, November 8th or November 15th, going to
Yeah,
Duke Air Force.
yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
But
Maybe I
it's
could get
not.
to Central Con August 30th, but I'm not going there for the game. I'm going there to just say hi to people.
Yeah, yeah, the tailgate and hang out. But it's atrocious. Like I don't even know how you could make an argument to a conference to take us with that schedule. You're like,
I mean,
oh, so we beat this team, we beat that team. Oh, you beat Ball State, great. You beat FIU, great. You want to come into the ACC? Absolutely not. They got
we might get into the ACC because the ACC may need
wants
us.
to merge for basketball. Yeah, I
They
know.
may need
I know.
us, not for
I
football,
know.
but
No, I know they do. I didn't realize like the ACC is like went way down, is as down as it is.
so I'm talking to my buddy is watching. He runs a club out of New York City called JMC, and he does recruiting stuff like me. And obviously we're both. He has a huge club, and he's just sending me texts that we could be sending UConn people all day because he's got a lot of studs too. So that's just believe me, I know that I'm good friends with the they're probably recruiting some of this one club's guys anyway because they're North Jersey, but Dream Chasers, who has a lot of studs, like I'm good, you know, we're on the tour together. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, you see each other
I'm
everywhere.
good friends with Larry Smith, and he runs his own tournaments.
So
And he
do they recruit more club kids than like per se high school kids as far as having contact? Like they'll have contact with the club coaches and talk to the club coaches as opposed to the high school coaches.
Now they will.
Now they
The old days, no. We went to high school coaches. That was a great thing. It went through the high school. I think that's really what it should do. Still go through the high school coaches, but it doesn't go that way anymore because
no, it doesn't.
NAL and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot more different things. And they just go right to the player. Look, it was
Yes,
probably a lot easier for college coaches when it went right to.
the high
I
school.
mean, you were a college coach. You probably enjoyed talking to high school
I
coaches.
never wanted to talk to the coach.
Oh, you do? Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Well, I hated
tell me why.
recruiting. That's why I hated recruiting.
Oh, you hated recruiting. Okay.
I
So you
just,
just
I
wanted
just,
to talk to the player.
I wanted to talk to the player for 5 minutes, leave, and go back to my hotel and take a nap. That was it. I tried to set up. I tried to set up my
That's
schedule.
because you were probably an area coach. Were you an area recruiter?
Yeah, like I'd have to be. I got all the lousy areas because I was a younger
Would
guy.
you have enjoyed it if you were recruiting?
I got to go to Texas. That was the place I loved. I loved
Yeah,
recruiting.
Texas is great.
I used to
I
bring
wish
my
I knew you
resume.
back then. I could send you all the good food places, buddy.
Believe me, I never had bad food in Texas.
No, you never do.
I used to go to Houston, Austin, and San Antonio.
That's not
And
bad. What was bad about that?
Nothing was bad about that. I want to bring my resume and apply for jobs. Once I saw the
High
facilities,
school jobs, you would have got paid more.
yes, the facilities they have, the talent they have, it blows my mind. But the problem that ended up hurting me was I would get these kids to really like Holy Cross, and the parents would fall in love with it. I'd get them to come to camp. They'd come to our camp. They'd see our facilities.
The school on the highway.
Yeah, that'd be the end of it. Now our stadium is the largest.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's the largest in the Patriot League because they used to play 1A, and they play Syracuse and Penn State, and it holds 30,000 people. But we don't get that for game day or anything like that. Once they saw the facilities in the stadium, it was like Why would I come here when we draw better for our high school games? I care about football first. I understand the academic piece, and it's going to set you up for the rest of your life and all that. But I just really want to play football. And you're 18 years old, so of course you do. And that killed me. I would get the most kids out of our coaching staff to come to camp, and like half of them wouldn't leave with an offer. If they did get offered, they wouldn't want any part of it because it was too cold, it would be too far from home. And I had the worst states. I had Utah, I had Wisconsin, Nevada I liked, but for other reasons.
Right. You had the worst states from a getting them to Holy Cross standpoint.
Yeah, because
Not the worst states to go to, by the way.
no, because he
I would have
wanted
been
to.
complaining if that was my states, to be honest.
No, the only
The
play I
pressure
complained
gets on you. That's the problem. When you go to those odd states for where your school is, the pressure goes on you from a recruiting standpoint. They're like, why can't you get guys to come here when you're like, well, wait a minute, the states I'm recruiting is 9,000 miles away.
I would get him to come there. The problem, and this is why I hated recruiting, was the recruiting coach was responsible for the recruiting board for their position.
Got it.
So the running back coach would only want to take his running backs. I had running backs that were better than some of his kids, and he would never rank them higher on his board than his kids. So I just felt it was just selfish. It wasn't done in the best interest of the team, and that's why
That's
I got
interesting.
frustrated.
Do you think that happens? Yeah. Do you think that's happened still?
I think to an extent it does. I do, especially it was probably with the majority of the coaches. They would take kids they were recruiting and put them higher up on the board as opposed to the other kids.
Because they would know they could have a chance to get them, and to the head coach, it would look like
it
a
looks
win.
Great. You're a great recruiter.
Oh, you're such a great recruiter. You got him to come here.
But then what would piss me off is on the recruiting visits, I would be the one that would have to sit at the parents' table because I was the funny one and the entertaining one and would show them a good time. So they'd make me sit with the parents of the recruits that aren't my kids because they want them to come to the school and they think I'll entertain them and show them a good time, and they'll get commitments out of them.
And you get no credit.
So they use me that way to get their kids because they were boring and not funny, and I would just say whatever came out of my mouth and make them laugh and tell them funny stories and tell them stories about what happened in Amsterdam and different things like that. And it just drove me nuts. But yeah, I think that's how it is. I think it's probably different now with the NIL stuff because I think I sent you the film on the receiver, Jamal Lundy. He was a teammate of mine. He coaches. Yeah, his receiver was the state player of the year in Arizona. 6'5", he had over 2,000 yards receiving, 1 million touchdowns, and we can't get UConn to look at him. And Jamal knows Kashif Moore pretty well. Jamal, called Kashif, is like, well, what the fuck? And he's like, well, I don't think we're taking a receiver. Like, what do you mean you're not taking a receiver? And I know they have a lot of receivers on the roster, but this kid I thought he was something special. I don't know how fast he is. I mean, Jamal said he was, at least a 4.6 to start, right? Which I think isn't bad for a junior, because I think they all inflate these numbers. That also drives me nuts. How fast is he? Oh, he runs a 4.4. Do you know how many people legitimately run a 4.4? It's very few. I mean, there's not a lot of kids in high school that legitimately run a 4.4 in the 40.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you see them. I never saw them. I mean, I saw them once in a while.
I've seen a few.
Yeah, but it's rare. So that would drive me nuts. But I mean, I was looking at the UConn spring practice schedule. They started on March 11th, so they're almost halfway through. Their next practice is the 27th, then the 29th, and then they end April 16th. And they're not doing a they're not doing a spring game. So it's just I get having to do spring practice and developing kids and all that stuff. But if you're not going to be in pads, if you're not going to do a lot of the drills necessary, if you're not install, like I said, we would waste spring practice installing stuff we never use. I mean, take advantage of it to develop some kids, because that was the one thing I gave Randy credit for. Randy developed kids, and Lyndon was like, "You don't have time. You don't have time. If you don't win within 2 or 3 years, you're gone." So the years of redshirting and taking 2 years to develop a kid, it's not going to happen.
Right.
You're not going to get that much time. And like I said, I didn't like that he joked about Joe Figiano having his 18th year of eligibility. He should be kissing the ground Joe Figiano walks on, because without him, when Nick Evers got hurt, you would have ended up probably with 3 or 4 wins. Joe came in and he didn't play great, but he played well enough and he saved the day. And you had a good enough running game to back him up, and a good enough defense. So, and the quarterback competition thing, I think Joe did enough to earn the starting job and to not have to look over his shoulder, at least for now.
Right.
Let the kid go. Just let him go. Let him play. He's earned that right. And they have the 2 good tight ends. They have a pretty good offensive line. Defense is where they're going to have to, make some adjustments with losing the linebacker McDonald, and the other linebacker Brown, and the defensive back Malik. That's where I think you're going to see it affected the most.
Right.
But they're protecting themselves, I think, overprotecting themselves with the schedule. I know you want to look good and get those 6 wins and go to a bowl game, but you got to challenge yourselves. You got to do more than beat up on UAB and Georgia State. There's enough schools out there. Play Rutgers. I think they could play Rutgers and be okay. I know Rutgers has gotten a lot better, but play someone from the Big Ten. Like, if you look at that schedule, are we playing anyone other than Syracuse and Duke from the power conferences? There's no one from the SEC. No one from the Big Ten.
I don't think we play anybody other than the ACC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no one from the SEC. There's no one from the Big Ten. Throwing a team in there. I mean, why can't we play a lower tier Big Ten team like a Purdue or something like that? I just don't get it. And those are the games, if I'm not mistaken, bless you.
Oh.
You need those teams to bring in money.
Absolutely, dude.
That's where the revenue is when you go to play Penn State and get your dick knocked in. That's how it happens.
But you eventually beat one of those teams, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think from what I saw last year, we played up to the level of competition, or we would play down to the level of competition. We never played, our competition, our style. It seemed we were either up or down. And that dictated how the game went. Like the Georgia State game was a mess. I thought we would have been better against Temple. North Carolina, I think, was an outlier because we treated it like the Super Bowl, and they treated it like I want to go home on Christmas break.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. That's how they treated it.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's just frustrating. It's just frustrating to ponder the future of the program, and then especially with basketball, the thankfully the women are still alive, and the women should go on a run, and there's no reason that they shouldn't win. Um, but the men all year long, Joe said it, inconsistency. We didn't have a good rotation, and it caught up to us, and we should have won that game. We very easily could have won that game had we finished. We didn't finish. And I do hope McNeely comes back for a second year. I honestly think he needs a second year.
I agree with that. I think he does
He
need a
scored
second.
14 points a game. Like, is that lottery material, really? I don't know what Cooper Flagg's numbers are, but
I don't think it's about the points.
no, it's about upside. I get that. I know. But like, I would love to know Cooper Flagg's numbers and some of the other top freshmen. Um, I mean, because he looks like he's 12 years old. There's no harm. I don't think he's going to.
He's big though.
No, he is. He's big. He's 6'7" or whatever. I mean, and he can do it all. He's that point forward that can bring it up. He can shoot. I mean, he can do a lot of different things. I just and I know that he has a good class coming in.
Cooper Flag averaged 18.7 points a game.
Yeah, so I mean that's 4 points more, and he obviously looked like the more seasoned player, wouldn't you say?
He's more seasoned. I look, McNeely probably would get drafted,
No, he will,
but
not a lottery pick.
no, and I don't think he would. I think it'd be a battle to make it.
I mean, I think they
I
said
think he'd be a long shot to make it as of this year. I mean, he'd be
really.
no, he would make it, but he'd be in the D League.
Oh, you think he'd be in the G League?
I
Really?
mean, G League. McNeely, not
Yeah.
Flag. Flag's going to be playing right away.
You
But
think they would draft McNeely? He's projected like between 10 and 15. You think that he would still end up in the G League?
I guess not. If he's going to be 10
Yeah,
to
I mean he's undersized. I mean, like just physically undersized. Like he doesn't.
I mean, I guess if he's 10 to 15, then he will be he's not going to be in the G League, but
if he drops lower than that, absolutely. I would just love to know which agency represents him, and where he's going to go with that, and what they're telling him.
I guess because he's big, he's 6'7", and he can play like a 2-guard.
Yeah,
shoot. So maybe he will be. I don't know. I just don't think. I think it's gonna be hard for him to cover people on defense.
Well, he's not. I don't know if it's an effort thing, but he's not.
I just think he's not yet there quickness wise.
Yes. Yeah. That's why I think.
I think his effort's fine. I think that's good. I just think there's a.
Where do you think Caravan will get drafted? Do you think he's a second round pick?
Caravan?
I know you're not a basketball guy. I'm just curious.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's out there. I would just say probably he would be a late second round guy, the best. I don't know what people think are better. What is he, 6'8"?
Yeah. I think he's 6'8" as a power forward. But he was so inconsistent this year, and you couldn't say that he had a good season at all. I know he averaged, double digits in points and all that, but I mean, he was with him.
He's projected 37. So
he's a second
right. Late second round, mid to late second round, right?
And he's got another year too.
Oh, he does. Oh, yeah, he should come back.
He could come back.
He should come back.
It
would be great if they all came back.
Then you got a squad.
Then you got Soul Ball's going to be back. Caravan comes back. McNeely comes back.
You got Reed.
Who seniors are Johnson and although he might have a year also.
Reed, I think, is back.
Reed is back. I mean, if all those guys come back, they could have a squad.
And
Now they can compete for a championship next year with those same guys. How about Mahaney? Is he a senior?
Yeah, he was a graduate.
Okay,
transfer.
so he's done. How about Stewart? Is he back?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes. Yes, Stewart, and
He's got to keep the roster together. That's going to be his hardest task.
Well, like he said on the freaking 60-minute show, he said 50% of his guys he's planning on possibly losing in the portal.
They've got to keep all those guys that started this year. Diarra graduates, right?
Yeah, Diarra's out. This was his 5th year.
Go get a point guard.
Actually, I'm sorry. No, Mahaney is not out. Mahaney is a junior. Mahaney
wow. They got the whole team back, dude.
Mahaney's back.
How about Diarra?
Ross is back. Diarra is the only guy that's technically gone. Samson Johnson's gone. And, that's pretty much Jaden Ross. I didn't think much of him, but he's back.
Replace the point guard, and which could be McNeely if he comes back, and replace another center. Get another center.
Yeah, they have Reed.
Yes, they have Reed, but to get one more guy, and then with everybody else, if everybody else came back, home run, dude. That team could compete for the championship again.
100%. 100%. But again, I think what kills them is the Big East. Playing in the Big East is such a detriment. I mean, even St. John's, I know they're good and they've improved.
They lost. They lost right away.
St. John's lost?
Yeah, they lost to Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
Round 2. And then I don't know. Did Creighton lose also? I wasn't really paying attention there.
And that just shows you, man. That just shows you the Big East is such a cluster.
Oh, Creighton's out too. There's no Big East team left.
Oh my God!
They lost to Auburn, who's obviously great.
That is so. Well, I picked that, but that is so embarrassing. That is so embarrassing. They brought this conference back because they thought that it was going to excel in basketball.
Right.
And, it did obviously early on with UConn doing well, but it really, the league itself is struggling. Once they went to the NIL format, teams aren't raising money. There aren't collectives. And that's really what's hurting them. That's what's killing them.
Yeah.
Do you know, like St. John's or Villanova, do you know where they were playing when the Big East had disintegrated initially? And they weren't in the AAC, right?
Maybe some of them were. Maybe some were.
Yeah.
All right, let's look it up.
I was just curious, like Seton Hall, like where did these teams go when the Big East dissolved? Because, that's the other thing. I don't know if Clemson and Florida State are going to be leaving the SEC.
I'm trying to see where they were in.
Brandon Williams, the Big East never went away.
Okay, there you go. Conference.
Did it not? It never went away? Oh, it must have stayed a basketball conference, and UConn wasn't part of it. I think you're right. Brandon, I love you. Not in a.
They were in the Big East. Yeah, they were. It was always the Big East.
It was always the Big East. Brandon, thank you. Thank you.
It just changed at one point to be a conference with no football.
No football, right. Brandon, I apologize. Thank you. Thank you. I apologize for my ignorance. Brandon, do you think that the Big East should merge with the ACC? Do you think that should happen?
What do you say?
Oh, it's Courtney. God damn you, Courtney. I keep forgetting your.
Ask Courtney.
I keep forgetting it. That's what Brandon Williams is. I keep forgetting his real name. His first name's Courtney. Every time, I screw that up. I screw that up every single
But
time.
Courtney's first name is Brandon.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. That's why I mess it up.
Why is Courtney called Courtney then? Is that his middle name?
Courtney, why are you called Courtney? I think it's his middle name. Yes, it is his middle name. Yes.
All right. You know how I know that's the case? Not because I knew, but my mother's side of the family, half of them go by their middle name.
That's what he said. It's his mother's. It's on his mother's side.
And on my side of the family, my mother's side of the family, most of their her siblings go by their middle name.
So why don't you?
I don't.
Yeah, you don't.
Because my father did not want that.
Ah, I got
And
you. Well,
so
I figure, you know,
but my mother's side of family, that was like their tradition. Was not, but my mother doesn't. My mother doesn't go by. My mother goes by her first name, but some of them chose. Some of them chose to go by their middle.
yeah, Courtney.
Yeah, we need to merge, and the ACC might need us because of basketball.
Well, how many teams are in the ACC overall? Like,
and Florida State and Clemson won out.
But I thought they put together an agreement to keep them, to give them a bigger slice of the pie. But either way, yeah, Courtney is right. We need something to be done, or else, like I said, by 2030, this model is not going to last. By 2030, there's no way. We're not getting the television revenue, the conference television revenue that's in the billions of dollars, like the SEC and the Big 12, the Big 10, even the Big 12 gets the money. We're losing out on so much money. And even though, like they announced, we had the highest the highest applications in UConn history, kids who want to go there. I mean, everyone wants to go there.
Won the national championship.
Yeah, everyone wants to go there. But unless they need a president or Benedict, one of the athletic directors, just to step up and do something drastic. It's like the status quo is not the status quo. The status quo is not going to get it done. The status quo is going to lose us money. It's going to lose us games. It's going to lose us opportunities. And in 5 years, we're going to be Division I, FCS or Division II, and being laughed at. Because just 10 years ago, we were winning national championships. Now we're Division II. Because nobody had the gumption to stand up and say, hey, guys, this is wrong. The entire model is wrong. Everything we're doing is wrong. Everything, it's not freaking working. It's not working. So either you make the changes or just get the hell out, because there's too many people who have invested time, money, and resources to build UConn into what it is, and just to let it die on the vine without doing nothing is a sin. Courtney asked, who did we piss off? I know Calhoun had something to do with it years ago, but who would not want UConn in their conference? Well, first of all, we pissed off Boston College, very much so, because we sued them. We sued Boston College when they left the Big East. So once that happened, that caused chaos. that ended the series between BC and UConn, and it blocked UConn from an opportunity to join the ACC because BC always voted against it.
I don't know why I'm sneezing today.
It's the dog. It's Bo.
Oh yeah, he's right below. Yeah.
But we pissed them off. I know it was in either 2007 or 2008. We pissed off Syracuse because we went for it on a 4th and short. The game was, I mean, it was a close game. We could have punted and played defense, but Randy went for it. And Randy threw a play action touchdown. And Doug Marone was the coach at the time, and he accused us of running it up on them. He was very unhappy with that. That I do remember.
Well, I mean, come on, you're Syracuse. You should be able to beat us, for God's sakes.
Well, and they had, but I mean, that was our year, and it was at the Dome, or no, it was at Rentschler Field, and we ran a play action, and they took Louisville instead of us. Yeah, they did take Louisville instead of us. They took Louisville instead of us. It's amazing that it's just amazing that you had a team who won a national championship in the AAC, which will never happen again.
Never.
And then you had UConn winning 2 national championships while in the Big East. And that alone, how could that not get you attraction from a conference? Even if it is the Big 12. How could that not have conference commissioners, your phone ringing off the hook? Come here.
Fawning over you?
Yeah. I mean, you're winning national championships. The revenue that generates is huge.
Before we go, I'd like to talk about, did you watch the Maryland-Colorado State game?
Yes, of course.
Did you think that was a travel at the end?
Not really, no. And I don't think it should have been. I don't think it should have been called. It's at the end of the game. Just let the guys play. Like what the fuck? Like, you're on mute.
So just let him get boots and keep space boots and walk all the way across the moon?
Yeah. Listen, it's the end of the game. Just let him play. Let him play.
I don't know about that. So here's what I think. First of all, the shot that Colorado made, unbelievable shot.
It was. No, it was. I give him credit for that. Yes.
But so he came down. I watched it many, many times. I wasn't sure. So in the NBA, you're allowed to use a gather step. So that was 100% be legal in the NBA. 100%.
Correct.
The college game is not supposed to allow a gather step.
Correct.
So it should have been walking according to the college rules.
Yes.
But they obviously were not going to call that.
It's tough at the end of the game. I get it. But yeah, I mean, 1-2 gather or gather 1-2. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think they were just trying to let him play. But I mean, officiating is a disaster as it is. As a disaster as it is.
Officiating as a whole, right? Would you say is a disaster?
It's a disaster, and it's going to be replaced with AI eventually.
I think it should.
You're going to have robots officiating.
I think it should be replaced with AI.
You know that this year, I believe, is the first year in the NFL. I think Frank and I talked about it. They're going to have a digital line across to show where the first down is, where like the players can see it.
My question is, at the end of the game, shouldn't, if a play like that happens, should you look at the play?
Yeah, you got to review it. Yes.
Shouldn't we?
100%.
And then if they came with a call after a review, then I can understand it.
100%. I don't know if it was reviewable or what it was, but yes.
It should be reviewable.
Yes. Yes, it should have been. It should have been instead of the shitstorm that happened afterwards. I
Did you
100%
see all
agree.
this stuff on Twitter? Uh, I don't know that anyone makes that call. That's why if you didn't make the call, you go right to the thing. I mean, um,
Yeah, when the game's on the line, yeah,
I don't know. Like I don't know. The referee's standing right there,
exactly.
but I don't know. Like to me, it looked like a complete like as soon as it happens. Listen, I see traveling all the time. They don't call traveling for nothing anymore.
90% of the game's traveling.
It's all traveling anyway.
You
So
watch the NBA, everyone travels. It's just it's a mess. It's a complete shit show.
right, and they're not going to fix that. Well, NBA everybody
No,
travels because they have a gather step. So
they do, but a lot of them, they get away with more depending on who the player is. They do get away with more with the traveling, with the gather step, and all that. They get away with a lot more.
hmm.
Why you trying to get a close up on me?
No, I'm trying to figure out why I keep freezing, dude.
Well, it's
Like
probably the same reason why my microphone wasn't working. We're just being sabotaged.
we're always being
Um, Courtney wants to know who makes the decision to review the call. Does it come from the NCAA? Does it come from the coaches? Who initially makes the decision to review something?
DraftKings or Caesars or
Oh, it comes from the betting lines.
please review this. Do not review
Yes,
this.
yes. We need a review. We need a review. We need a call on
Oh,
this. Did you
we need to
get
call on this.
did you get a good opportunity to watch some college basketball, or you really
Yeah,
weren't? You did watch some. Okay.
yeah. I watched UConn. I watched Maryland. I watched.
Do you do a pool? Did you do a pool?
I don't even do any of that shit.
You don't do that. Okay.
I'm one of the only people that doesn't do any of that stuff. Everybody does it. I honestly have zero. It doesn't excite me at all. I do not get excited about fucking this
March
little
Madness.
this midget school. I watch the games. The games are exciting to me,
Yeah.
but I don't get excited about like fucking St. Mary's losing to this. Like it was cool when St. Peter's won. That was cool. But I don't
Yeah.
really get.
No, it has its moments, and it's the only revenue that generates money for the NCAA. That's really all they have. Everything else is the conferences and their television deals and who goes the farthest. So that's the other issue.
Like
It's the whole-
I think the playoffs,
the college football.
college football playoffs, pretty exciting. I think. I
I
think.
I agree.
I think that's really exciting. I think the NCAA is exciting because it's always been exciting, but oh, my bracket got busted. Well, guess what? Every year your bracket gets busted. And just like my fucking, I can't get a fucking my thing camera to stop freezing. That's a guarantee. Just like my bracket getting busted. So I don't know. I don't get into that
No, I
stuff.
know. I know. Do you guys have a tournament this weekend?
Yeah, we got one like every weekend.
No, because I was curious because Julius had the 5-on-5 tournament. Um, is this like the main season for 7-on-7 tournaments and the 5v5 tournaments? Because I was always
Yeah.
curious about that.
Yes. Yes.
Are they run? I mean, are some of them run together simultaneously? Well, they'll do 7-on-7 and 5v5.
Not very often in the north. No,
No, not in the north.
no,
Have
not
you
in the north.
have you seen a 5v5 tournament?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Because I was just surprised that's all they do. They literally just show up, line up, and it's 5v5 for a couple hours. They have several rounds of it. and they score it and determine a winner.
Yeah.
And God, he was showing. The kids he was showing 2026 and 2027 kids. There was a 2027 kid who looked like he was about 32 years old. He was just tossing guys. I've never seen anything like it. I'd love to know his 2025 kids. Like he barely shows his 2025 kids.
Well, that's
He's
over.
always
It's
shows.
over for those guys. It's over.
Oh, right, because they have 45 offers. I forgot. Yeah, it's over. They don't need the exposure. But
Uh,
the 2027 kid that he put on, it's like, my God, where like what's in the water down there? Where the kid 6'4" as a freshman, just unbelievable.
no doubt, no doubt. They have unbelievable players down there, and it's the South, and that's just how it is, dude. So you
No,
know,
that's what I got to get Frank to do it. I want to do it with Frank. I want to see if we can try starting something. We have nothing like that up here.
you'll get 5 kids.
I mean, just to start, just something to work with. It just as a group.
It
Um,
all starts with the first step, which is doing it.
yeah, I mean, well, I couldn't get him to do the doggy daycare, so
Where do I want to go for lunch today? That's my question for myself.
what are your options?
I might want to go up to Chick-fil-A. I
Oh, we can't go wrong with Chick-fil-A.
might have to go up there.
Chick-fil-A is the best.
Yeah, it's just a hike.
Well,
Uh,
it's a hike here too. The closest Chick-fil-A is like 30 miles away,
I
and
might have to go. Maybe I'll go to Shake Shack.
Shake Shack's great too. Shake Shack's great too.
Yep. You know,
Once
people.
once I can actually drive, I would go to Chick-fil-A or Shake Shack in a second.
Well, now you probably still get them. You just probably DoorDash it, right?
Uh, Chick-fil-A does not DoorDash because it's just too
Oh,
far away. Maybe they would.
okay.
Um,
What about Shake Shack?
we don't have a Shake Shack around here.
No.
One of my favorite places. I love Shake Shack and I love
That's what
Wawa's.
Frank should do. Go get a franchise, Shake Shack franchise.
Frank should.
That would be a home run, dude.
He's going to need something. His kid just got into the two schools he didn't want him to get into, and he got into.
Ha! Which
He
ones
got
are
in
those?
the Rochester, University of Rochester, and Syracuse.
Oh, wow.
Syracuse is 90K a year. Rochester's like 80K a year, and like he's trying to liquidate his assets. He's like all flustered. It's hilarious. So just make sure you congratulate him. He's very happy.
Oh, he's going to be mad.
No, I busted his balls because
Nah, he's happy for him. He
no,
probably
he is, but he said he would never be that guy because it used to drive him nuts when parents or kids would post online all the schools they got into and where they were going and whatnot. What does Frank do? The second the letter comes, posts online where Cutler got into. I said, you were that guy.
every every parent ends up being that guy.
They do. No, they do.
Because you know
Uh,
what? You just can't contain yourself at that point.
Courtney, the best place for food that I've been to in Germany. So I don't remember the place. I remember they had a hot plate and you could get your whatever meat you wanted, filet or steak, strip steak, whatever. And you could cook the meat however you wanted on this hot plate. Now I did burn
Ooh,
myself.
I like like a Kobe beef place, like Korean barbecue, or no?
Is that what it's called? Okay.
I'm trying to think.
I
I thought it was a Korean barbecue I went to that did that, but maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
it was like a brick hot plate, and they bring you your meat, and you put it on and you can cook it. Now I like my stuff really rare, so I cooked it. And again, I burned myself, and that was by far the best. And then the other places, obviously, were the bathhouses. They were incredible. So anywhere in Germany, they have great bathhouses. They don't compare to the red light district in
What's the
Amsterdam.
bath? You mean a bathhouse where you get sauna and stuff? The
No,
sauna?
no, no, no sexual favors.
And they had great food?
No, I was just telling him one of the best places I went was the
Oh,
bathhouse in Germany.
sexual favors place. Oh, okay.
We yeah, the red light district. I didn't get to experience the full effect because I broke the bed after about 5 minutes, and the young lady freaked out, and security threw me out in my boxer shorts and didn't give me my money back. But it looked good. I just didn't get that one.
What was I correct on? Oh, I didn't see. I don't know what I was correct on. I like
Yeah,
getting around.
the red light district. Yeah, everything was great. It was a wonderful experience. I picked my lady. They bring them all down for you. You pick them. You go up to the room, and we got
Wait,
on the bed.
so the red light district, you pick them like, I don't know, you're going to Starbucks?
Yes, they bring down. They line up like 20 girls.
I'll take a redhead with.
I want her, her, and her. I
Oh,
mean,
okay. They have a lineup. Okay. Oh, like a
yeah, they
complete
put a
lineup.
lineup. I mean, you can pick more than one, but I picked one. We went upstairs to the room, and it went about 5 minutes, and not in the 5 minutes that you're thinking of. The 5 minutes where we were on the cot and the bed broke. Literally, just boom.
You
She
big guy, out of here.
he goes nuts, like I stabbed her. She's screaming. She's going crazy. Security busts in, and I said it was an accident. Accident. I didn't touch her. I didn't do anything. Gone. Boxer
You
shorts.
big guy, out of here.
They throw me my clothes. And then the other wild experience, I'll tell you, this wasn't exactly my fault. We ended up in the wrong part of Germany in Dusseldorf,
Oh, I heard this one already.
and it ended up being an S&M place. And we walked in, and then I realized, you can't. We couldn't just walk out. We had to act like this is where we were going. So you're tied up. It's leather. You're getting whipped and all that stuff. And the guy I was with
This is
was
not PG-13, by the way, for people who are.
well, he was just he thought he was using the safe word, but I don't know if she either didn't care or didn't understand it. So he was trying to restrain her, and they broke in and they sliced his ear off with a samurai sword. So that was interesting.
Oh my God.
Yes, yes. We walked. They pulled me out. They
You have
said
to go to hospital. You have to go to hospital.
hospital. He had to get airlifted because we were nowhere near a hospital. They airlifted him to Frankfurt, I believe, and they asked me if I wanted to go with them. I said nope. I said good luck, man. Never saw him again.
Was he a player in the?
Yeah, yeah.
Never played
I'm not
again.
getting in a helicopter. There's no fucking way.
Never played again. That guy.
I never saw him again. They sent him home after. Yeah, they did the
And his whole
surgery.
ear. His whole ear.
Yeah, I picked up the ear. I picked. They have zero tolerance. You know how they whip people with the Singapore canes? This was a samurai sword. Kapoo! Ear gone. Me shocked, but I don't know what. I have no idea why. I'm terrified of blood or anything. I happened to grab the ear, and
Oh, you're missing this.
they gave me a napkin or something to hold it in, and they called for a helicopter, and I can't even remember where they landed. I just remember he wanted me to come with him, and I said, "Nope, no way. I am not getting on that thing. There's your ear. Good luck in life." Never saw him again. And you can look him up. He's got a Wikipedia page.
What's the name?
If you ever get bored, look up Tyson Clabo. He played in the NFL several years. He was with the Falcons and the Dolphins.
Oh my God.
Yes, yes. So you can look that up. Tyson was a very, very nice guy, but he took a samurai sword to the ear. So, talk about a great story to end on. Where are you going to hear that? Where else are you going to hear that?
And it doesn't say nothing about that part of his career.
Well, let me ask you, Dave. Would you have got? No, he was a great player. He played for years. Some teammate. Courtney, there was no way you were getting on that chopper. I don't believe you. You can say yes. There's no way you're getting on that chopper. When
Is
you
this
see
the Hamburg team?
Yeah, he was on Hamburg. Yes. When you see that thing and how loud it is and how small it is, only on Husky Huddle. Dave, I'm telling you, there's no way you're getting on that thing. You would not have gotten on the helicopter. You call me a bet. He wasn't my teammate. He was just a friend of mine that I had met during training camp, and we hung out after the game. And like I said, he was the one who said,
he played after that, though.
Oh, he played great. He played 10 years. He was a star.
So they must have reattached his ear.
Yeah, they did. They reattached it. Yeah. They reattached it, and he was sent home. But I'm telling you, you would not have gotten on that chopper.
That is the most incredible story.
Oh, Dave, the tales of Cully. Did I never told you the absence story, did I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I told you the absence.
You don't have to rehash that.
I'm not going to, but there's so many tales that I could tell you that. I mean, you just shake your head.
I'm just trying to look at his ear and figure out which ear it is.
I believe it was his left.
Oh, okay. And
I believe it was his left. Yeah.
His left ear and his right ear look very different.
Now you're analyzing it.
I am. That's what I'm looking at on my phone.
Oh my God. Now you're analyzing it.
Only on Husky Huddle.
I'm just asking. There's no way you would have gotten on that chopper. Would you have gone with him on the chopper?
No.
That's my point. I mean, if he was maybe your best
friend.
I don't
know. It depends. I don't know.
You're in a new country. I mean, I get it. You don't want to be alone. And maybe I was selfish. But he wasn't my best friend, my best friend.
Right.
I mean, if it was a good friend of mine, yes, I would have gotten on. But I mean, I'm mortified as it is. I just got whipped at an S&M club. I'm in leather and in chains. So I'm mortified by that. Then I'm mortified by seeing a samurai sword, which I never thought existed still in the 21st century. And then there was no discussion, no argument. There was just, and the year was gone.
The year was gone.
So I suffered a trauma, which I think is overlooked. I think my trauma counts. And it shouldn't just be my responsibility. I picked up the ear. I was a good friend. We got the helicopter, and I sent him on his way, and he has an ear now today. And it may look different, but he has an ear, and it functions. And he had a successful NFL career.
You picked up that ear.
I picked up that ear. I didn't get on the chopper, but I picked up the ear. I had the wherewithal. What did you pay for that?
He could thank you for his career. You know why? Before that, he was a journeyman. After
he was.
He became a star.
He did. Yes, he was with the Dolphins. That's a good question. I didn't. I don't think I paid for it. I think NFL. I mean, we had insurance through NFL Europe. I'm sure they paid for it. I didn't physically pay for it. I just made sure he got on the thing and he had his ear, and I went back to my hotel. And I was asked if anything interesting happened. I said nope, and I went to bed. And
On
then
that,
it was
I
the talk of the team, the talk of the bus ride home, the talk of the coaches, talk of the league. Shortly after.
and you know what? It's a great way to end it because Shake Shack's calling my name.
Stop saying that. I'm gonna have to DoorDash something.
Hey,
Oh, I was
I already placed
referring.
my order. I already placed my order.
Brandon. He wanted to know what did you pay for getting in the club. It was €50 to get in. It was €50 to get in, and you could stay as long as you want, but then you had to pay extra for your bondage experience. The bondage experience was extra. Other than that, it was good. So, yeah. So, Dave, you can go get your Shake Shack, and we'll see you. We'll see you tonight. You have a lovely day.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
try
so
to
you'll see me tonight. Okay.
I'll try to figure out. I'll figure out what's wrong with this thing. And I found someone who wants to be a guest. If you remember Sean Mulcahy, do you remember Mulcahy?
Yep.
Sean has been MIA for the last 4 years. I have no idea why he called me yesterday. He called me yesterday, um,
What's
and
going on?
it was great to hear from him. And he's definitely going to come on. So for Coach Schumann, for Tyson and his ear, and Courtney asking fantastic questions, just amazing contribution to the show. This has been Husky Huddle. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them. Close. I was so close.